So being a groomer already one of the most pathetic things you could like ever do, just like ever. But this, for the person I'm about to talk about in this video, Haley Beck, somehow took it to a new fucking level. And I know that sounds crazy, but let me put y'all on. So basically, Haley Beck is Noah Beck's sister, and Noah Beck is someone who's like basically pretty famous. I'm not sure exactly like what he's like popular for. I know he has a large following on TikTok, but I'm not sure exactly like what he does or like what he did to get popular. And to be honest, I don't really care to learn because that's not really what we're here to talk about. What we're mainly going to be focusing on today is absolute goober degenerate sister, bro. So Haley Beck was a teacher at a high school, and to put a long story short, she just grew her and another teacher groomed a teenage boy that went to this high school that I taught at. So this was two teachers grooming one student, by the way. So this on top of all the other things we're gonna cover that were unique to this story and unique to just Haley Beth. I want you to keep in mind that there was two teachers doing this. So this is, and they were both involved. So this makes it like twice as much degenerate. Just keep in mind. Gosh, I'm stuttering. These heinous actions fucking with my noggin for real. But what makes Haley Beck particularly pathetic compared to other groomers wasn't just that she was grooming this under 18-year-old for over 2 years. But it was the fact that the person she was grooming was so self-aware and clowning her ass throughout the whole relationship. Like, getting flamed by the 16-year-old that you're dating for being a pedophile is fucking crazy. That's not the only thing he did. He called her fat. He like made fun of her outfits. He like made her give him hella money, buy him hella shit, let her use her car. Like, he low-key used her for everything. He ran up that bag, bro. And keep in mind, he was doing this for two teachers at the school. He low-key had a method, bro. He was low-key like, he had it figured out. By the way, he was even getting the teachers to improve his grades and attendance and shit. This guy had the fucking setup. Now, obviously, this shit still isn't right and fucking illegal, but bro, blowing all your money when you're on a teacher's salary on tricking on a fucking 16-year-old boy, and then having that 16-year-old who you're clowning on and who you're tricking on and grooming, then clown you and then flame the fuck out of you, and then you get exposed for it, exposed for it on national television and the news and shit. You get fired, and then all of these text messages of him clowning you and airing that shit out gets aired out on national television, and you get exposed and shit, bro. But let's actually take a look at some of the examples of Haley Beck getting her ass flamed by the student who she was fucking grooming. Okay, so before I show y'all this first screenshot, I need to give y'all a little bit of context or it's not going to make complete sense. So basically, the message that happened before this, she offered to pay the student who she's fucking grooming. She's paying this guy $5 in order to give her 3 compliments because she needs to feel good about herself. You know how fucking pathetic, how much of a loser you have to be as a grown-ass woman to be paying your teenage student, who you're like dating, by the way, to give you compliments? But that's not even it, bro. Just take a look at these compliments and just the whole interaction between the two. Okay, so the student whose name is reacted said in reaction to an image, "Okay, belt, I see that, and I like your hair straight." Boom. Haley Beck says, "Was that hard for you to be honest?" Haley reacted to, "I think your top is cute because the fray lacy look." Haley, "You should have seen me in it last time I wore this shirt. It was so tight on me." So that's basically her just trying to say like she lost weight and like looks better and stuff like that. And the student just replies, "Crazy, cough it up." Getting pressured like that for bread is crazy, bro. You can tell he just does not give a fuck, bro. He's just in it for the money. And then Haley says, "You know, a you look good will suffice." Shut the bro. Like, he clearly doesn't think that. He said okay belt. He didn't even say he liked the belt. He said it was okay. These are horrible compliments, bro. Like, "Okay belt, I see that. I like your hair." Like, bro, these are like that, bro. I don't even know what to say, bro. Like I said, there's nothing to say about these quote unquote compliments. Like, you just gotta go off the map and like move to Zimbabwe or some shit after that, because there's no way you can recover from that. That shit, like, honestly more embarrassing than the EDP shit, bro. Like, there's just, like I said, there's literally no way to recover from that. And here's another screenshot of her being insecure that her teenage student, by the way, might have a girlfriend. But these aren't even the most damaging screenshots. This is the easy shit. This is the fucking appetizers. Let me hit y'all with one of the first heavy hitters. Let me serve y'all up one of the first main entrees of degeneracy. Haley Beck says, "You better suck up right now, cause I cried myself to sleep last night because you didn't say you love me back." A grown-ass woman who's a teacher talking to a teenager, by the way. Haley then also says, "I also decided I don't like the title Sugar Mommy. It makes me feel used." And then the student replies back, "Oh gosh, what title do you prefer? Cry Baby?" Jesus fucking Christ, he threw barbecue sauce on her and put her on the grill. And that just absolutely shows how fucking desperate she was, that she was willing to put up for this shit and continue to give him money and continue to fix his grades and can continue to just be with him after putting up with this shit for over 2 years. Fucking diabolical and pathetic. Really just no other word to describe with it other than just like absolutely fucking pathetic. Like, this is the type of shit that incels and cucks put up with in, like, relationships. And this teacher is putting up with it with a fucking 16-year-old that she is grooming and bankrolling the whole life of, basically, bruh. Giving him gas money for compliments, letting him use his car, fixing his attendance, giving him great grades, and then having an actual, like, sexual and inappropriate relationship with him on top of all of this bullshit, bro. And then he's flaming you throughout all of it, bro, and you're just fine with it because you're just such a desperate, lonely weirdo who's so depraved for attention from minors, bro. It's, oh my god. That's why I said earlier in the video, I genuinely feel like this is more embarrassing than the EDP screenshots. Because at least in the EDP screenshots, he wasn't letting the fucking minor flame the shit out of him. He was just being like genuinely weird and creepy. She's being weird and creepy, and on top of that, giving hella bread. EDP wasn't giving up no bread and letting the girl flame him and shit. But like I said, this still not even it, bro. There's so many examples of this absolute bullshit, bro. Of her just being a fucking loser. Like, I know I keep saying loser, degenerate, and stuff like that, but I'm genuinely just like running out of words to like call her, to just actually to describe just like how low this is. Alright, so this next screenshot is of the student asking Haley to pick her up from the airport. And Haley says, "Lots of mixed signs here." And the student says, "I won't be seeing you today unless you pick me up from the airport and just devour my shit." Haley replies to that, "I thought I can't see you since you have to get your dad." And then Haley replies again, "I don't know how I'm supposed to devour you if I'm driving." So him calling you a sugar mama, you said just in the last screenshot that makes you feel used. But him saying, "Yo, I'm not seeing you and I'm not speaking to you today unless you pick me up and just start straight devouring my shit," that doesn't make you feel used. That you don't like call him out and have like any type of like huge problem with. Probably because you want that, you like huge degenerate fuck. And I mean actually huge, like physically too, by the way. I've been avoiding mentioning her weight, but she's just a pedophile, so I low-key just don't give a fuck. She's fat as shit. Also, according to there's a little bit of extra information here. According to this news segment I'm watching here, she also bought him alcohol and weed, so she's really just tacking on felonies right on top of each other here, ain't she? Also, another thing I want you to keep in mind, there's also even more messages that haven't been released and also some messages that they weren't able to access because they got deleted on Snapchat. So this might not even be the worst of it that like gets released in the future or that just like happened in general, which is fucking wild because all of this is just absolutely diabolical. But as more stuff with this case like develops and stuff like that, if there is more stuff that gets released and stuff like that, or more stuff they find, I do hope they release it because I just want to see more of the bullshit she was putting up from the student and just more of this like absolutely diabolical behavior because this is honestly just comedic at this point. It's just ridiculous. Like, bro, she was literally putting up with him calling her fat. You're talking like I was holding back from calling her fat. He wasn't. He clearly wasn't. And she just put up with it because she was just that much of a depraved, desperate fucking loser. But anyways, that's about it. That's about like sums it up all up, man. I just need to talk about this because like female groomers aren't like that common, or like they are common, but like they don't get exposed as often and stuff like that. And when they do expose, normally they're not as like this the desperate and depraved. But this is one of the most desperate, depraved, like losers and just like cringe shit of as far as like screenshots and like willing to put up with that I've seen just among both men and women. And like this is, like I said, this is by far the most like wild shit seen a female groomer put up with, like screenshot wise and stuff. So I just need to talk about this and flame the fuck out of her. So yeah, that's about it. Hope y'all enjoyed and have a good day. Peace.